workers were in there physically trying to brace the shelves so that they weren't falling over, and most of the damage was broken glass and wine bottles and things like that crashing on the floor. The damage in the northern part of the country much greater, where now we're hearing reports that 200 to 300 bodies have been found in Sendai, near the epicenter of this earthquake, and also a massive tsunami that has hit Japan and now is making its way even to the United States, where we're seeing the effects of that as we speak. Joining me now from Miami is marine and earth scientist Ellen Prager, who wrote Furious Earth, The Science and Nature of Earthquakes, Volcanoes, and Tsunamis, and 8.9, the ensuing tsunami. Give me a sense of how this fits into what we know and have seen, what our experience is with earthquakes.
Well, clearly, this is one of the biggest earthquakes we've seen since the 1900s. It's a little bit smaller than the Sumatra, the Indian Ocean one, but really the issue here is not it's the size, but it's also in this case because the earthquake created a deformation of the seafloor. Seafloor either went up or down, and that's what triggers a tsunami. And we're just seeing these horrendous pictures from these walls of water that are making way into Japan.
And even when we're looking at the live pictures now in Santa Cruz, California, we can take you to KNTV's live picture where they're over the marina. What we're seeing there is the flow pushing these boats out of their slips, ripping out docks, and capsizing some of the boats, and now the ebb of the water pulling all of this stuff back out to sea.
Well, that's right. So you can think of it as, a wave is kind of a misnomer. It's really a surge of water, and all that water goes on shore, and then it has to go somewhere, so it all comes back. And, in fact, that's what we see a lot of the damage and unfortunately a lot of the deaths in places where this happens, where people get swept out to sea because, again, the water surges on shore, and then it's got to go somewhere, so it goes back out to sea and carries things with it.
All right. And how long will we expect to see the effects of these higher waves along the west coast of California and Washington State, for instance?
Right. Well, Contessa, that's a great question, and it's really hard to tell because it's a series of very long waves propagating across the ocean that come to shore. And so you have, since they're so long, you have time between the crests from when they hit, and it can be, I hate to say, hours, but it could be hours.
All right, and thank you so much for your time, Ellen. I appreciate it. I just wanted to point out those live pictures. You're seeing spectators now rushing to the other side of this bridge because this boat has come loose from its moorings and is now, I think on the other side of this bridge, there's a canal, but there are actually breakers there, and what we're seeing is some of these boats actually crashing into other boats and into the breakers themselves, so people are out to see that spectacle. President Obama says the United States will help Japan recover from this deadly earthquake. He's holding a news conference in just moments, and we'll start with statements on Japan. Also, he's expected to address the rising energy prices. We're keeping a close eye on the White House. We'll have this for you when it happens. Quick break. We'll be right back.